Hi, welcome back to our channel. Today on our doctor to doctor conversation, we're going to be interviewing Dr. Murphy Osbourne, emergency department consultant in Bermuda. I'm so excited to speak to Murphy. I've known him literally all my life, but now he lives in Bermuda. He's on the front line with Corona, and I'm just dying to hear what's happening with him. Stay tuned. As mentioned before, we are here with Dr. Murphy Osbourne. He is in Bermuda. He studied in Jamaica. He used to attend Glenmuir. I used to attend Glenmuir, so I have to mention that. Yes, by Murphy. All right.
Okay.
So in Bermuda, Murphy, did I mention that he's a consultant emergency physician? Correct, Murphy?
You're correct.
Okay, right. So in Bermuda, there were 121 recorded cases and 8 deaths so far. Is that right?
That's correct. As of yesterday.
How are you guys managing to keep it that low?
Well, I mean, a number of things come into play for that. Well, once we had the first case, the government started putting things in place, much like the rest of the world. The advantage we had is that we kind of got it later. So we had persons to look at. We were looking at Italy, looking at China, looking at South Korea, looking at the UK, and taking examples so we could properly plan for that kind of eventuality. And so as soon as they got our case, they started doing the whole social distancing, as well as they started shutting down different sectors of society. And so that has been working fairly well so far. Of course, you have this slight outlier. We aren't totally obedient throughout, but it has been working well generally.
Right. And so, I mean, so you're saying, are you guys on lockdown at all? Is the
We are
country?
no longer on lockdown. We had a 4-week period of shelter in place, which meant pretty much you only left home for necessities. So hospitals, food, gas station, and of course, if you needed to go to any special meetings like the government social
Uh-oh.
essential workers were allowed.
All right, we're back with Dr. Osbourne. We had some challenges there, but you were saying that initially you had a lockdown where essential workers and so on only those could go on the road, but now you're opening up.
Right. So for 4 weeks, you could only go to the supermarket, the gas station on set days of the week based on your surname.
Mm-hmm.
But essential workers could use your ID for movement around the island. But as of last week, Monday, they had phase 1 of a 4-phase reopening where you have limited services. You no longer have to shelter in place, but you are still mandated to work from home, as well as you have curfew from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. daily. So that's what's happening now. And as the cases are not increasing as rapidly as they were before, they're thinking of moving to phase 2. So that's a good thing in the interim.
Mm-hmm.
So phase 2, more business open, including services, for example, the barbershops and different salons. And then phase 3, you have places like where I want to go to the gym, open phase 3. And then phase 4, you have the airport. So they're trying to go based on how the country responds to the different things mandated by the government.
So, I mean, how compliant are the citizens? Because we try to do a lot of that in Jamaica. Some
Right.
people aren't really responding to, because even when St. Catherine was on total lockdown, the government was trying to let people go to the supermarket on set days based on last name, but that I mean, it never worked well in my opinion. But I guess people in Bermuda are a little bit more compliant.
They've been fairly compliant. I haven't really heard of any major issues, to be honest. There is, I guess, it's the beauty of having a smaller island. So
Yeah.
the population is roughly 65,000, and there is also a big fear factor. People understand that this condition can kill, and seeing what it's doing in other parts of the world kind of made persons more aware that this is serious business. So in general, I mean, there may be 1 or 2 incidents where people are not too compliant, but generally I find that they're really compliant. I must say,
Okay.
I must say hats off to them for that.
So I'm wondering, is it because, because our people, because I think in Jamaica, the thing is people aren't able to afford to stay home, So how are, so that I guess that's the excuse that they're not able to afford. I always lie because people are like partying in the bushes. No, Jamaica, Jamaicans are a different class. Let's move on to the other type of questions. What are the PPEs like? Because what are the
So at first, well, we had the major challenge in the beginning because, some persons wonder what's the most scary thing about this. It's really the fear of the unknown, because you're going to have an onslaught of lots of patients and you don't have enough supplies. So initially, we had a 10 set of the case and things in place while we're preparing for what we thought would be a really crazy time for us, like the rest of the world. And so I found that PPEs, we had to restrict the use. And it's challenging because you never know who has COVID, given that some persons may be asymptomatic or may have unrelated symptoms, no respiratory symptoms. So you have to constantly change PPE. So those were getting short, but we've been able to reorder, and now we're pretty good. But wow. The good thing is that we didn't have as many cases as we thought we would have. It's still too early to wave our hands and say yes, it's all over, but that was a good thing. But like many places, PPEs were in short supply, so we had to be very careful. We had to monitor its use and make sure that only those who require the N95 mask, for example, are the ones who are using them. For other areas, they use a surgical mask. You didn't find that many people on the street were using hospital-type masks. They were using cloth masks, which is very good. The health team to use. That was a good thing.
Okay. All right. You were breaking up there, but so what are the challenges like in emergency room? Are there any challenges, and is there any additional steps that you're taking when you're dealing with patients nowadays?
Well, yes, we have to definitely take additional steps regardless of what your presenting complaint is. So every single patient or every single person who comes into the hospital has to wear a mask. That's one. We've also, unless they are not of a good mental capacity, we do not allow visitors inside. Right? If we need to get further information, we may have to make a phone call or go out to the waiting area to speak to relatives. But we don't allow anybody in with the patient unless the patient is not able to give us information on their own. The good thing I must say is that all our rooms have now been converted to negative pressure rooms. So that's a very good thing, because we actually do have rooms, and so that decreases the risk of transmission. And all staff members wear masks throughout the entire day. And when you're going, well, in clinical areas, if you're in the personal space, you don't just ensure as best you can social distancing. But all the rooms are negative pressure rooms, and we make sure we wear our face shields, N95 mask, or what they call a packer, which is a full suit with positive pressure pushing things out around your face so you don't get debris coming in or aerosolized material coming in. We've also made changes to, let's say, patients with asthma. They normally get nebulization.
Right.
We put a protocol in place to do just the meter dose inhaler with a spacer. Right. Because it is thought, or there's still some controversy around that nebulization causes aerosolization. And so we try to decrease that. And there's a strict cleaning protocol. So once a patient has left the room, we try to categorize them basically into low risk, high risk. If we think you're a high risk patient, that room has to stay unoccupied before it's even cleaned for about an hour. And then it's cleaned and left another half hour before anybody else uses it. But that nice criteria is worked out by our infection control department.
Right.
So that's one of the other steps we.
Wow, I'm surprised about negative pressure rooms. You seem like you guys have it on.
We're sending patients to CAT. Well, we're doing the best we can. With everything, there are disadvantages, but saying it out loud, we're complaining that things aren't the way we want them to be for certain things, but saying it out loud and seeing what the rest of the world is going through, you realize that there are some advantages, that we're experiencing here. It's not all perfect, but it's working very well.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Osbourne on the front line in Bermuda, thank you so much. It was so nice seeing you and speaking to you again. Alrighty, stay safe.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
All right,
I'll do
take
my
care.
best. All right,
Huh?
take care now. All
All
right,
right,
bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Take care of yourself.
All right, the computer was a bit glitchy there, but I'm hoping you were able to get something from the video. If you like my content, smash the like button, subscribe to the videos, and share them. All right, till next time, take care.